Today, I'm going to teach you how to play any scale on piano. Before we get started, I just want to say that there are no quick fixes to consistent practicing. The most important thing is that you are intentional and consistent with what you learn and how you practice. But with that said, let's get to it. So first off, I want to talk about major scales. Why should you learn them? Well, the biggest reason to learn them is because almost every song you've ever heard is based around the major scale. Now, when I was a student, this was something I definitely pushed back against. I knew my scales, but not as well as I should have. So I promise that this will help take your playing to the next level, just like it did for me. Let's look at an easy scale to start. C major. Only white keys going from C to C. 7 different notes before repeating again. Now what if we start on a different note instead of C? If I start on A and go up to A, now I'm playing an entirely different scale. In this case, A minor. More specifically, A natural minor or A Aeolian. And you can do this no matter what note you start on. If I start on D and I go up to D, now I'm playing a new type of minor scale called Dorian. So now if you learn C major, you already know the notes in at least 7 different scales, each with a different sound, tonal center, and name. If you learn all 12 major scales, you actually know 84 different scales. For the purpose of this video, I'm not going to go in depth into the modes, but if you'd like to learn more, feel free to let me know in the comments down below and maybe I can do a future video about them. So now that we've shown that learning one scale will help you learn at least 7 different scales and even more that I haven't even talked about yet, what can help you to actually play them? Almost every scale is based off of 2 finger groups, a 3 group and a 4 group. Let's go back to C major. I'm going to first start with my right hand playing a C major scale up and down 1 octave. Notice the finger numbers. We can break apart these numbers into 2 groups based on when the thumb changes. A 3 group and a 4 group. And then ending on our 5th finger. If we want to do more than 1 octave, all we have to do is repeat the groups again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. End with 5. Come back down, same fingers, same groups. Now we can think in these bigger groups and play them as cluster chords like this. This will help build up your muscle memory and help you view scales in bigger groups instead of individual notes. Now what if we play a scale that doesn't start on our thumb? Let's look at the E flat major scale. We can still break this scale into 2 groups, a 3 group and a 4 group. But now we start on our 3rd finger at the end of the 3 group and continue. So again, we have 2 groups, a 3 group and a 4 group. Thinking of scales in these bigger groups will also help you know where your fingers are going to cross over and which finger you need to cross over with. Let's go back to the E flat major scale. We can see I'm starting on my 3rd finger at the end of the 3 group, and then as soon as that group is done, I cross under into my 4 group. This is especially helpful when I'm coming back down the scale. Instead of thinking about where I cross over or which finger, if I follow the groups, I just have to think about which group I'm going into next. And then I cross over with that finger. You can use this for every major scale, which means that you can use this for 84 different scales. Learn your 12 major scales in both hands using this tip. But wait, because there are even more scales that we can learn with our major scales. We can remove notes and play what are called pentatonic scales, or 5-note scales. Penta for 5, like a pentagon, which has 5 sides. A major pentatonic scale is just like a full major scale, except now we remove the 4th and the 7th note, which gives us a total of 5 notes before they repeat. And just like before, if we start on A this time, or the 6th note of our major scale, now we are playing A minor pentatonic scale. So let's review. First, why should you learn your major scales? Because it will help you play almost any song. It'll help you learn almost every scale, and it'll just make you a better and more competent player overall. I know they aren't the most fun thing to practice, so finding songs that are in the same key as scales you're learning can be helpful. And maybe I'll do a video on some fun ways that you can try practicing your scales. As before, this is more of an overview of the different types of scales. So if you have questions, please leave them down in the comments and let me know if there's anything you'd like to learn more about in a future video. And subscribe to the channel for more like this. See you next time.